Morning. Sunscreen on my nose in case you're wondering, because I'll probably be out in the sun all day. But today we're going to talk about irrigation systems and winterizing, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit differently because mostly it's always talked about in freezing areas like up north. I'm going to talk about southern zones. So hold on. Hey guys, Doc. Okay, so this video I'm going to talk a little bit about winterization, and then I got some crazy footage running all around here because we have a crazy weather event moving in this week. What's the crazy weather event? Tonight it's going to be 26 degrees. So yesterday and today we're running around taking up all of our irrigation systems and doing whatever we need to prepare for a 26-degree temperature low. Then I have a farm report from, it's called AgriBull, and I can drop a pin. It's very accurate. I drop a pin on my fields and it gives me full detail report emailed every morning. It tells me how much it rained yesterday, how much it rained today, how much it's going to rain the next 7 days. So I looked at the 7-day precip and it says 7.6 inches of rain. Let me repeat that. 7.6 inches of rain over the next 7 days. And I was like, is this a mistake? But starting on Friday, we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and possibly even to Monday, we're going to get rain. Now, I talked about this. We're in a horrible drought. And I talked about this. I said, when the rain comes, it's going to come. That's the way it always works. So we're pulling up the field irrigation, all the hoses. I'm shutting off my irrigation systems, and we'll talk about real quick the southern, what you need to do for southern zones. Now, let me touch on northern zones for a minute. There are plenty of videos online about blowing out your irrigation system. If you don't know how to do that and you're in a cold zone that gets really hard freezes, and I'm talking about like it's 20 degrees for 2 weeks, that's where the soil is going to freeze deep, and your irrigation system is at risk. If you don't know how to do that, you need to call an irrigation company, have them say, hey, can you come blow out my stuff? It's not necessarily something you want to do on your own unless you really know how to do it, you have the right equipment, because you need to tie into your line, you need to have the right PSI, you really don't want to go over 60 or 65 PSI. You can't just use a regular air compressor, you need an air compressor with a tank because you need a lot of volume to get in there and blow out each one of those stations. I highly recommend, if you're in a more northern frozen zone, you go to your controller's website. So Ratio, as an example, they have a real good video about step-by-step about how to blow out your system. But they even say, look, you probably need to not do this yourself, you need to contact a professional. You can do it yourself, you just have to prepare for it. And if you're watching this video, you might be too late. So if you're up north, that's what you have to blow out your system. Southern, let's talk about southern zones. You really don't blow out southern zones simply because our soil doesn't freeze that deep. It may freeze 2-3 inches, maybe a little bit more, and we just don't get those hard, long freezes. In other words, it's not 15 degrees for 2 weeks. We might get a couple days of a real hard freeze, but it's not necessarily going to impact our sprinkler system or our sprinkler heads. But here's what you want to do. You want to find the main shutoff valve. Now, here, it's near my well. At the other house, it was right next to the street connection. So if you have a water shutoff near the street, a lot of time your irrigation system, where it ties in, wherever it initially ties into your water system, you'll usually have a shutoff valve. I'll show you one here in a second. You want to shut off your system. The next thing you want to do is you want to pull up your controller, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to go through and run each one of your systems twice. So I do a quick run on my Ratio. It's called a quick run. Then I do each one of my stations. I run it for 1 minute. And all I'm doing is if there's any excess pressure in there, it's relieving that pressure. It's going to open up that valve, let the pressure out. There really is not a whole lot more you can do, unless, like at the other house, on my lowest station, I actually installed a drain valve at my lowest point. So I could open that up and open up all run my stations, and it would be pretty good. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tough to see, but you can sort of get the idea. I'm running off a shallow well for my irrigation systems. So I have a rear irrigation, I have a front pond irrigation, and I have a shutoff valve. I have a shutoff valve right here that I'm going to shut off. Man, this wind is killing me. See that valve right there? Oh, that system is now off. Got it? Different valve right here. Oh, that system is now off. And what I'm going to do for this is I just cover this over with a tarp, because I got ground it's exposed to the ground, which will keep this warm, and then I put an insulation board on top, and that's all I do because I don't get that cold. I gotta put this camera down because this wind's gonna blow this top. Good gracious. All right, so now all I have to do is go to my ratio controllers, and I'm gonna run the backyard. The nice thing about my system here is that all my sprinklers are on one zone because I have a high pressure pump on the well, so they all fire off. So they are running right now, and I am basically just letting it, if there's any extra pressure, the water's going to come out. It's all opened up. So basically I'm going to go to the pond. I'm going to do a quick run. I only have one zone out here. Run. All these zones are now open. And I know for a fact that I probably won't have any pressure because the pond pump is off. And that's it. That's pretty much all I got to do. Now, I will give you one other tip. These irrigation boxes. See this right here? That's an irrigation valve box. Open that up and put some kind of insulation on top of that. I don't care what. Put a towel, put anything. Just put something on there to keep any cold air from getting in there. That's one step that people always forget. Open up that box, that valve box, put some insulation in there. Put a towel, put insulation, anything you want, anything that's dry, just to hold this ground temperature inside there and to keep this outer air from going in there. That's an important step. All right, so my solar guy showed up. I'll do more videos on that. He did the on-site consultation. We're gonna do solar panels on both sides of that roof because it's only a 512 pitch, so they'll both produce. We're gonna run over here. We're gonna put at least 2 Tesla power walls, if not 3. So we're talking about all that configuration. John is over here scraping up. He is scraping up all this extra dirt. Whenever you run a trench line, you always leave a big pile on top. Well, I didn't want to leave a big pile because I didn't want the water stopping at that pile. So we put it down flat, and as expected, it basically sunk in. So it's kind of what we're doing now is we're going back and we're scraping all this extra dirt along these sides and putting it in here, then packing it down. Where's that dirt from?
Dirt I had already picked up.
Oh, okay, from over there. So trench lines are a pain in the butt because they always keep collapsing. So next, Jesse's inside. He is vacuuming and putting silicone on the subfloor anywhere there's a crack. We're gonna build a cement. We're gonna do a dry pour down here, and then I'm gonna order some stringers, and we're gonna build some stairs here. I think I'll get that done next. Then he's gonna start working on the floor. All right, so the guys are pulling irrigation hoses. This year I'm gonna have Jesse make some 2x4 wooden arms to hang in the barn. Last year we didn't hang the hoses, and dude, it was a cluster. So, I mean, I got 450 feet of lay flat hose spaced all out over here. And what I need to do is I need to hang it up on a wall so that the mice don't get in there and chew that crap. But at the same time, since we got cold weather moving in, I got all kinds of garden hoses and sprinklers, and all that's got to come back up to the barn. So then they're going to go fill the trenches. Then we're going to start moving equipment out of that storage container. We're going to move that into the barn room so I have space for when I start ordering stuff for the cabin. And Jesse's going to figure out what he wants to do as far as putting that floor down. It's gonna be a busy day. We got this finally all filled in, and I'm riding it over it. I put grass seed down, and I'm just riding over it with my UTV just to sort of punch in that grass seed. Got a lot of rain coming. The next thing we're doing is we're building these stairs up here. Again, this is a cabin, so I want it to be kind of quirky. So here's what we're doing. I've got a bunch of extra blocks that I'm never gonna use. So we're putting a block base down, getting that level. We're gonna build a wood frame around it, and then I'm gonna dry pour all the way around that, and we're gonna lock that in. Go ahead. Then what I'm going to do is I got some stringers coming, 3 or 4 stringers on here, put some stairs on, good to go. Here's the redneck engineering we're doing today. Everyone can go ahead and criticize it. So what we're doing is we're just building this out. We use these big blocks down below. I'm going to dry pour. So we've got, how many bags in there?
5.
No, how many in there right now?
2.
So we got 2 bags in there right now, and then we're just going to mist it. We'll just keep wetting it and wetting it and wetting it. I'll probably put another bag in there. We'll keep feeding some more in. And that's what we'll do. Now we did this dry pour on the ramp that we did for the shack. Holding up great. I actually put rebar on that one. And same thing, we leave this wooden block around it and did a dry pour over there surrounding all this end of that gravel. And then I got stringers coming, hangers. We'll have us a nice set of stairs. Okay, so I think I've got everything handled. I don't have any exterior faucets on my house because we use the shallow well. But if you have exterior faucets on your house, I want you to go under the cabinet where that faucet goes outside and look and see if you have a shutoff valve. If you have a shutoff valve, shut the valve off and then open the faucet. Last year, my daughter was feeding my grandson, I believe it was, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, she heard this big pop, and guess what? A pipe burst downstairs because they had copper pipes, no shutoff valve. It burst in the basement, finished basement, by the way, and their basement was flooded. Thank God she was awake, otherwise it would have been really bad. So I told them, I said, you need to get a plumber over here and install a shutoff valve inside the house on all your exterior. That's what causes the majority of water leaks, is that exterior faucet freezes, exterior pipe comes inside and it bursts. So I'm just telling you, check and see if you have an inside shutoff. My other house had inside shutoffs on every exterior faucet. Some older homes don't have it. I shut off my pond fountain because you don't want the fountain running. We leave our aerators running on the pond, but I shut off my fountain. You don't want a fountain running when it gets this cold. It cools down the water too much. Let me hop over here and explain this floor system. The solar project, I'm still figuring out how we're gonna do it, but in my last video I talked about it. We trenched, I showed us trenching this, and I've got a huge 2224 underground cable sitting over here that's now trenched in. So if we put solar panels over on this cabin, we're all set. So I've got power, water, and I've got that solar cable under here. I hate trench lines because they keep collapsing. But I think we got it handled now. We came back for the second time and repacked it, and I ran this over with my UTV, put new seed down here. It's gonna be a little bit cold for seed germination. So let me show you my redneck engineering on these steps. I want you to understand something. I always battle with Jesse because Jesse wants to do things perfectly, and I told him, I said, I want this cabin quirky. I want weird stuff. I want it rough. I don't want it finished looking. So I want things that make you, just like we did with our house over here, things that make you go, So I had all these I got a ton of these cinder blocks all around. So we basically dumped cinder blocks down here, leveled them off, built a frame, did a dry pour, boom, done. Now we've got the wide set of stairs coming up here. We've got the stairs all done up here. But the floors inside, we can't control temperature or humidity inside. So we're basically putting a deck on the inside. Once the construction is done in here, we're gonna stain those and put a coat on it. And man, they're gonna look so cool. It's gonna look so cool and quirky. I may go ahead and put a board on top of this so it acts like another step. But these came out great. They're nice and wide, good looking. So here's what we're doing. Here's the original subfloor here. And then we're actually installing a deck here. And this is premium grade pressure treated 5/4 by 6. We're putting a little bit of subfloor construction adhesive, and then we're shooting 2-inch 16 gauge finishing nails. Done. Is that a brilliant idea on my part? You can say it. But if you don't have any control of temperature and humidity, You can't put down LVP, you can't put down engineered hardwoods, and I didn't want to put down a vapor barrier. Let me make that clear. Someone's going to say, but I want this to actually be able to breathe. So, man, this is just going to be awesome. When this stuff gets stained and gets finished, it's going to look cool. You're going to have enough glue?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. But look at that. Isn't that going to be cool looking? That is just going to be so cool. When we stain those dark like the outside boards and then put a finish coat on top of it, man, that's going to be so nice. And man, this is just, it's actually, these boards are actually nice to walk on.
Yeah, feel good on it.
Yeah. And I love this. This is going to be great. So what we're going to do is we're going to probably just drywall this whole thing. We're probably going to do an accent wall in some rough cut lumber. And then I've got those beams from 1790s from that tobacco barn that we used in the house. I have some extra of those. So maybe about every 4 feet or so, we're going to run them all the way up and across. It's going to be really cool looking. We have a little kitchen over here, a little table and chairs. We're going to install a little closet back here. We're going to put a wall up, have a little bathroom, have a shower, sink, composting toilet probably over there. Okay, so he's working over there. I'll leave him alone, let him finish up. Now, one thing I do have is, I talked to my well guy, and the only thing that sort of keeps in the back of my mind grinding away is, what happens if my well ever fails? I mean, we would probably be weeks without water while they came out here, found a new well. So I'm going to do a separate video, and I'm going to talk about dowsing versus high-tech water location. There's a service online that they actually use magnetic imaging to locate your aquifers. I'll do a video on that. But the other day, Jesse and John were here, and I was showing them dowsing, and they were kind of freaking out. So we were holding dowsing rods and sticks, and it was like everyone was getting all kinds of alerts. Here's the problem. I can douse anywhere on this property and say drill here and I'll hit water. That's not the problem. The problem is where is the concentration of the biggest aquifer? That's what I need to know, and that's what this service that I'll talk about actually does. So let me just put up a little bit of footage of them out there doing that, and that's about it. I gotta get busy. Doc. John Light. Dude, what the hell are you doing? All right, so I want you to come over here. I want you to walk down there and walk over here and then back around this side, the right side of the trailer. So come over more to your left. Go near the fence. Tell me if them rods talk to you. Just think, locate water, locate water, locate. Did they just cross? Okay, now straighten them back out. Now just walk. Yeah, he crossed right there.
Yeah.
So he got a cross right up there. All right, now give him to Jesse.
Yeah, man, you can feel it move. It's like
Feel it moving too, ain't it?
yeah, it's like gravitational pull, man, and then it just goes away.
So
Crazy.
he got a cross over here.
There you go.
You got a cross there too?
Oh, I mean, look,
It's crazy.
look, it's trying to go around and around. Look.
Crazy.
That's weird.
All right, so now let me go ahead. Here, you hold this, John. You follow me.
Locate water. Locate water. Locate water.
You see that? They pointed over there. No, is it because they want to go over here? They want to keep pointing over there. So let's go over this way. Oh, it's wanting to go back that way. See that? They crossed right here, the same place that you guys got to cross. There must be something in the barn. Some kind of force, evil force in the barn. Now we're gonna do a stick. I ain't got no willows though. I don't think I got any willows. No, your palms have to be up. Your palms are down. There you go. Wide, get them really wide.
Seriously. Like, that is wicked.
That's your same spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the same spot he was doing or whatever.
Can it come back up?
I mean, it's trying, but it ain't. Let me.
Bring it back up and
I'll
go
reset.
again. Reset.
Here it goes.
There it goes down. There goes the stick down.
That's again right there where I was at.
That's evil. That's evil magic.
Look, going towards this is really cool.
Crazy.
Ah. Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta love a good dowsing session.
Oh, yeah.
These are the fun ones though. Here, the rods are fun because they'll do all kinds of weird crap when you're holding them.
Yeah, I like that. But that's pretty neat too.